Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and unpack the incredible story of Nikola Tesla. Now, if you're joining us today, you already know the name, right? We all do. But the source material we're looking at takes a truly unique lens to his legacy. We're going to break down the verifiable facts alongside the intense speculation surrounding his life just to really understand this man who is so often dubbed the inventor of the modern world.
The documentary we're diving into presents this absolutely fascinating dual narrative. And it basically asks us to look beyond his grounded science. It asks, how did the man who lit up the world actually get his ideas? It's asking us to hold two contrasting concepts in our minds at the exact same time. The rigorous practical engineer on one hand, and the man who made deeply unconventional claims about where his blueprints actually came from on the other.
Let's start with Section 1, the modern age mastermind, bringing electricity to the masses.
So the documentary brilliantly sets up this wild contrast between his massively successful practical engineering and his almost unbelievable theoretical ambitions. On one side, you've got AC current. This is the practical power that fundamentally changed human existence. I mean, it literally powers our homes today. But then, on the other side, you have free energy. These ideas pushed so far past the boundaries of 20th century physics that they seemed, frankly, like pure science fiction at the time.
To sum up his physical impact, the thesis from our source material is crystal clear. Tesla's verifiable science propelled humanity into a totally new era of industry, setting the absolute foundations for our modern age of technology. Without his base layer of innovation, the technological leaps we've seen in the 21st century simply wouldn't have the power to exist. He didn't just invent a cool gadget. He invented the entire platform upon which modern industry was built. But you know, the really crucial point the documentary makes is exactly how he achieved all of this.
Which brings us to Section 2, sudden bursts of insight, the eccentric methods of a genius.
This completely breaks down his unique workflow, and it's wild. Most engineers, right? They sketch, they build clumsy prototypes, they test, they fail, they iterate. Tesla, however, claimed to experience sudden bursts of insight. He would fully and refine his futuristic inventions entirely within his own mind. So step 1, a sudden flash. Step 2, mental conception. Step 3, mental refinement. He claimed he could supposedly run a machine in his head, check it for wear and tear, and fix it without ever actually picking up a wrench. That is a level of cognitive visualization that completely defies standard engineering. It's like a superpower.
He was a man completely, as the source puts it, enveloped in enigma. And his own descriptions of these sudden mental downloads really set the stage for the documentary's wilder theories. Because it wasn't a slow, methodical deduction for him. It was described almost like a sudden reception of a fully formed idea. It just popped in there. And it's exactly this self-reported phenomenon that opens the door to the primary thesis we're unpacking today.
So let's look at Section 3, Messages from the Cosmos. Extraterrestrial guidance?
To really understand this perspective, we have to define what a conduit is. A conduit doesn't necessarily create the water that flows through it, right? It simply provides the pathway. It's the pipe. So the documentary asks, what if his mind wasn't the actual generator of these futuristic ideas, but merely an incredibly fine-tuned receiver?
This is where the narrative shifts from rigorous, grounded engineering into some profound mystery. And we should point out, this isn't some modern internet rumor. Tesla himself spoke openly about picking up signals that he genuinely believed were of extraterrestrial origin. When the guy who literally mapped out alternating current tells you he's receiving messages from the stars, well, you kind of have to at least examine the claim, right?
And that leads directly into this core speculation presented in the source material that Tesla's vision was influenced by extraterrestrial guidance. Now, I want to be super clear here. It is absolutely vital to emphasize that this is presented as pure speculation. It's a massive what-if scenario based entirely on his own eccentric claims and his unparalleled output. We're definitely not stating this as historical fact, but we are exploring how the documentary frames his genius. The proposal they are putting forward is that his ability to see the future of humanity's power grid was guided by an intelligence off-world.
Which leads us to Section 4, a conduit for alien wisdom, the ultimate question.
We so often use words like eccentric to comfortably categorize people we just don't fully understand. It's a safe box to put them in. But the documentary asks, what if we remove that label and replace it with conduit? How does that completely change our view of the Industrial Revolution and this modern age of technology that he helped usher in?
It really forces us to ask if he was specifically chosen by higher beings to aggressively elevate human progress and industry, because the word chosen implies intent.
It suggests that those sudden bursts of insight we talked about earlier, they weren't just the random firings of a brilliant human brain, but a targeted download meant to forcefully push humanity out of the dark and into a new era. According to this highly speculative angle, humanity needed a jumpstart, and Tesla was the only instrument capable of handling the voltage of that knowledge.
And the source material takes it one step further. Was this technological foundation ultimately meant to prepare us for an eventual convergence with our celestial forebears? The logic they use actually tracks if you think about it. You can't introduce yourself to a civilization that doesn't even have basic electricity yet. By giving humanity the modern grid, perhaps the ultimate goal was to elevate us to a point where a future convergence would actually be possible. So, as we wrap up this explainer, we are left to ponder a really profound dual enigma. Considering his world-altering achievements, where exactly do we draw the line between the sheer power of the human mind and the mysteries of the cosmos? Whether you view Nikola Tesla as a solitary, brilliant engineer or as a literal conduit for the stars, his impact is etched into every single light switch on Earth. So the next time you turn on a light in your house, ask yourself, are you experiencing the pinnacle of human ingenuity or the remnants of a cosmic message?